Welcome to Clark County Today. I'm David Madore, your host, and today we have Liz Pike. She is, what is your position with the BIA?
I am the Political Affairs Director for the Building Industry Group, and also conversely with the Building Industry Association of Clark County.
Okay, Building Industry Association. What is the Building Industry Association,
well,
or Building Industry Group? How do we differentiate
okay,
those?
there's two separate entities. The Building Industry Association of Clark County, which we call the BIA of Clark County, that was founded in 1969, quite a long time ago.
That is a long time ago.
I'm 51 years old, so I was 9 years old when they started the Building Industry Association of Clark County.
You must be proud of your age, 51 years old. Now, I don't hear very many women just broadcast it that quick.
So the BIA of Clark County is the parent company, and they are responsible for a whole host of activities all throughout the year that benefit the Building Industry Association and the community at large. One of the biggest things that the BIA organizes, you've probably heard of it, it's the Clark County Parade of Homes. And it's happening.
I didn't realize that was through the BIA. Yes,
and they've been doing it for probably 30 or more years. I think 32 years, this is the 32nd year. The mantra of the BIA of Clark County is to promote and protect the building trades. And so the parade part fits into the promoting because they're trying to promote the industry. So they roll out this great Parade of Homes site every year. They also have added a new homes tour that has about 20 homes in it, and it's more of a scattered tour. So there's 20 homes throughout Clark County that you can go see.
And so there's something scheduled this year.
Yes. And
when is that?
It's at Moongate Subdivision in Flida, and it's July 22nd through August 7th.
July 27th through August
July
7th.
22 through August 7th.
Okay. July 22 through August 7th.
Yes.
And what was it? Where was it at?
It's at Moongate Subdivision.
Where is that at?
It's in Flida.
Okay. Anything more specific?
It's just above above Vancouver Lake.
Okay, and how do people find out more about that?
You can go to clarkcountiparadeofhomes.com.
Okay, clarkcountiparadeofhomes.com.
And that website is already live. It has a list of builders that are participating. So there's three big things that the BIA does every year to promote the industry. I mentioned the Clark County Parade of Homes and the Scattered Homes Tour. There's also a Remodelers Council that is a subcommittee of the BIA, and they do a remodeled homes tour. And as you probably can imagine, in the marketplace now with new homes not being as robust as it was before, a lot of people are choosing to remodel their homes. So a lot of builders that...
so it's new and remodeled?
Yes. Well, the Remodeled Homes Tour is a totally separate event. It's on a different date. I have dates here to help me remember. That's July 30th and 31st. It's just a 2-day weekend event. And there's this Remodelers Council that's a committee of the BIA. They form and operate this Remodeled Homes Tour. Okay. So they get a group of about 7 or 8 really active members who want to, and they get their clients whose homes they remodeled to give them permission to open up their homes to the public for the weekend. So it's really great. Anybody who's in the market to remodel their home, it's a great venue because they can see all the latest technology and new gadgets for the home, and so it's a really neat event for people that are thinking about remodeling, and because that market is so big right now, since nobody...
Yes, I expect that you have, especially have a lot of interest in that area.
Yes.
Now, are these tours, is there a fee to get in to see these?
Yes, you have to pay to go see them, and that helps raise money for the event, to sustain the event. And all that information's on their websites, and I don't have the exact price information, but there's like a senior citizen day during the parade where senior citizens could get in at a really reduced cost. And there's a design and color day where you can go in and talk to real live designers that did the interior designs of these brand new homes. And all those things are, the reason why I bring them up, that's part of the promoting mission of the BIA. There's also a protecting mission of the BIA, and that's where my job as Director of Political Affairs, and also Steve Madsen, who's our Legislative Affairs Director, the two of us comprise a lot of the efforts with our respective committees to do the protection of the industry. And what Steve Madsen does is he appears before county commissioners, city councils all across Vancouver, Camas,
When you say
Richfield.
protecting the industry, in other words, you want to make sure that any legislation that comes through from the state or at the county or city level
is not harmful.
Is business friendly.
Yes.
It's something that doesn't put a big burden and cause the price or the time of being able to build new homes or remodel homes, to make sure that that doesn't make that a difficult process.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So what he does is he advocates in front of the elected officials all across Clark County, including municipalities and county government, to advocate for the building interests.
Okay.
He works with the people that are elected. My job is to help get the right people elected so that it makes his job easier. One of the things that we try to do at the Building Industry Group, which is I want to be very clear about it, that's the legally separate political action committee of the BIA.
So it's a BIG, Building Industry Group,
Yes, that's
is
the
kind of a sub-portion
Yes.
of the Business Industry Association.
Yes.
And that's the political arm of it?
Yes, and it's easy to remember because think about BIG is the political muscle. You know, you want your muscles to be big,
Got
right?
it.
So
okay.
the BIG is the political muscle of the BIA. And one of the things that these are the basic tenets of what we look for in candidates at the BIG. We look for candidates that are pro-business, pro-jobs, pro-industry, and that support responsible fiscal policy.
Okay, you would think that would be all candidates. Is there really that much of a difference?
I would like it if all candidates, it would be easy to vote. I mean, you could vote for anybody and they'd get the job done the way you want it to get done. Unfortunately, that's not what we find at the BIG. And one of the things we do is we carefully vet candidates each summer and fall before an election season. It's very important that we find out where they stand on issues that are important to us, not only as an industry, but as people that support responsible fiscal policy. It's not just that they're pro-industry. We want them to support responsible fiscal policy because that's good for all business.
Okay, what does responsible fiscal policy mean? What does that translate to when it comes to policy?
That's a really hard question to answer because we have to be careful as a PAC. We're not a partisan PAC, so we're not just a mouthpiece for one political party or another political party. So I try to avoid saying things like conservative, even though most business people are conservative in their business practices.
I think of when it comes to fiscal policy, you've got on one extreme, you live beyond your means, you add lots of costly programs out there, you raise taxes to cover those, or fees, or those kinds of things, or you go into great debt. Are all those the kind of policies that you
those are exactly
oppose?
The opposite.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So that's what you don't want to do.
Yes, and what we do is to be totally fair. We want the public to have the correct perception that we go about endorsing and vetting candidates in a process that has integrity. So we don't just guess about the word on the street of how somebody stands in one position or another. We actually, two candidates that are running against each other, we bring them both into our office in Vancouver at the BIA office, and we interview them. We have a slate of interview panelists made up of trustees from our building industry group, the BIG, the political muscle of the BIA, and we ask them several pointed questions. The interviews usually last about 20 minutes, and we even send them an outline of what we're going to ask them about.
So before you even get to that point, when it comes to candidates that maybe have already announced that they're going to run, that's already a little bit late, isn't it? I might think you would be involved with just simply in the process of trying to recruit candidates or try to groom candidates, encourage qualified people to run in the first place. Do you get involved in that?
We do. We do recruit candidates. That's an ongoing effort. It happens really all year long. We talk to lots of people that we think might be interested. We put out, in fact, I write a newsletter column for the Building Industry Association newsletter, and this month you can see it at biaofclarkcounty.com.
biaofclarkcounty.com.
Yes, www.biaofclarkcounty.org.
Okay.
And
.org.
Yes, www.biaofclarkcounty.org, and I have a political affairs director article that's in there, and the very last couple of paragraphs in my message is, you know, do you know a good candidate to run for public office? And
so that's already in place. That's already
yes,
up there. Have you got any takers yet?
We've been talking to lots of people that are interested in possibly running in 2012 for Clark County Commissioner. As you know, we have 2 commissioners that will be up for re-election, Mr. Bolt and Mr. Milkey. Okay. And both their terms expire. And people come to the BIA, I think, because, or the BIG, I think they come to the BIG because they know that we can help influence the outcome of elections. As an example, last year, the BIG endorsed Steve Stewart for re-election. And speaking as Liz Pike, Clark County citizen, and not any relation to the BIG or the BIA, I have a little bit of voters' remorse or endorsers' remorse in that regard. And in specific, I'm going to bring up one very timely topic.
Okay.
Let's take the bridge tolling and the vote on light rail and all those things that are really hot in the media right now. As a group that endorsed Steve Stewart for re-election last year, we co-hosted a fundraising reception for him at the BIA office last fall. And Steve Stewart stood up in front of a room full of people and told us that somebody from the audience asked him about tolling and light rail and the possibility of bringing a vote to the Clark County people. And he stood up there in front of lots of people, including me, and said, I am not afraid of tolls. Or excuse me, I am not afraid of a vote on light rail. Bring it on. I am not afraid of a vote. And he said it a couple of times in his speech. And so I thought, great, we've got the right guy here. He wants the people to vote on it. Well, then I read in the papers and I see in the news that now he and Mr. Levitt are backpedaling on allowing the people to vote this year on it. They want to push it back to 2012, which doesn't really make sense to me because the critical planning of the bridge is happening right now. Well, and I think the people deserve to vote on it this year, as was promised in campaign speech after campaign speech.
Well, to be fair,
and I'm saying that only as Liz Pike County resident.
Yes, I understand.
I'm not reflecting the BIA or the BIG.
To not be afraid of a vote is really not saying necessarily that they're going to get behind and promote a vote. Did Steve never commit to saying, I will stand behind a vote, I'll do what I can to make a vote happen, I'll make sure people have a voice in this? Or he was just more neutral, thinking, well, I'm really not opposed to a vote?
I think my perception in the room that day was that he respected the people's wishes enough to say, let's put it to a vote. I'm not afraid of a vote. And my perception was that he would respect the outcome of that vote. And that's my perception only. Who knows? I've been wrong before. I could be wrong now. So,
welcome to the club. Well, I'm curious about that because right now this is a current hot topic for Clark County. Are the people in Clark County going to be able to vote on light rail or not? And there have been, if I understand correctly, the county commissioners, there's only 3, so it only takes 2 county commissioners. Tom Milkey fully supports a vote. Any kind of vote, yes, he'll support it.
He's on record.
Mark Bolt and Steve Stewart, if either one of those guys find a way to provide a vote, then it'll happen, right?
I would imagine.
And yet, at this point, they both came out with a Columbian article, a newspaper article just this last week, that kind of laughed at the idea, didn't they? They kind of...
Well, I think they're hiding underneath the veil of their respective attorneys. You know, Vancouver's hiding under their city attorney's coat, and the county's doing the same thing. I think Bronson Potter is the lead attorney for the county, and they're both saying, well, legally we have no jurisdictional authority, so we really can't have a vote, binding or advisory. But you know, when you think about something as important as a replacement bridge for I-5, it's a federal highway, and
yes,
I was living in this area in 1982 when the Glenn Jackson Bridge was opened for the first time. And that bridge, granted it was 1982, so it was several decades ago, still that bridge was built for $170 million.
169 point something.
Yes, 169.9. So I'm rounding it up to 170. And
yep,
of that, I believe 156 million came from the feds, huge percentage.